Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to Yahweh, the Father of lights. Peace and blessings to Yahweh Shai, the beloved Son of the kingdom. Peace and power to the throne of King David, and peace and blessings to you out there, Royal House. Well, I'm not going to waste no time. Still got some reading to do. I pray that your spirits was blessed by the consummation of times from the apocalypse of Baruch. All right, we're going to begin our second installment now. That 30 minutes be going so fast, man. Feel like I read 3 or 4 lines and it's time to go. But there's always a rewind. All right. Let's go into page 293. I'll begin at verse 4. He says, "Forget not Zion, but hold in remembrance the anguish of Jerusalem. For lo, the days come when everything that is shall become the prey of corruption, and be as though it had not been." Now, you think about that. Ain't that the way it is now? We can't remember nothing. I mean, we read about it, we was like, man, we live like that? We used to slaughter the animals and have a tabernacle, and we had the Ark of the Covenant with the mercy seat. We had the high priest, man, the high priest of Aaron. We had Moses. We was in the wilderness, you know. We fought wars. All right, we can't remember none of that now, because it was over 2,000 years ago, and we got the same spirits. But we're in a whole different time. We have transcended the barriers of time through the spirit and ended up here. Ain't that something? Man. So, it will be as though it had not been. And that's what it feels like right now. Man, our women was in order at one time. Well, more in order than they are now. All our women knew Father Yahweh, and they knew his name, you know. Yeah, but we still had some disobedient wenches back then, too. We had wicked-ass niggas back then, too. We did. So, yeah, he said that that time is going to be as though it had not been. So that's where we are now, okay? Starting at verse 32. "But as for you," right, "if you prepare your hearts so as to sow in them the fruits of the law." Did you hear that? The fruits of the law. Law of Moses ain't got no damn fruit. All right? The fruits is the love. That's why it says the fruit of the Spirit is what? The fruit of the Spirit is love, peace, joy, happiness, all that, right? So when you sow the fruits of the law, that means you love. You love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and you love your neighbor as yourself. So as to sow in them the fruits of the law, it shall protect you in that time in which the mighty one is to shake the whole creation. So he says that the mighty one is going to shake the whole creation. And during that time, you have to have the fruits of the law sown in your heart. All right. I should stop right there, but I'll keep going. Verse 2, "Because after a little time, the building of Zion will be shaken in order that it may be built again. But that building will not remain, but will again after a time be rooted out and will remain desolate until the time. And afterward it must be renewed in glory and perfected forevermore." So what is he talking about? You had the Davidic kingdom, all right? But that building did not remain because Solomon, all right, through his fall, tore it down. Let me begin again at verse 2. "Because after a little while, but after a little time, Salak, the building of Zion will be shaken in order that it may be built again. But that building will not remain, but will again after a time be rooted out and will remain desolate until the time. The house of David, the Davidic kingdom, has remained desolate for over 2,000 years. And afterward, it must be renewed in glory and perfected forevermore. So this house here has been perfected. Y'all hear that? I like that. I like that. It's been perfected. This is a perfect house. It don't go to the left or to the right, a straight way. If you in here and you got the fruits of the Spirit sown in your heart, and you're you love the Most High with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and you love your neighbor as yourself, you have an eternal house. If you're a poop butt ass nigger, if you're an ignorant ass motherfucking bitch, you're getting thrown the fuck out. That's what makes it so perfect. There's judgment here and there's justice here, right? I'm going to see to that. All praises. Anyway, verse 4, and afterwards it must be renewed in glory and perfected forevermore, meaning that it's going to always be in the process of being perfected. It's going to always be some correction done here. It's going to always be some form of discipline done here, okay? Therefore, we should not be distressed so much over the evil which has now come as over that which is still to be. For there will be a greater trial than these two tribulations when the Mighty One will renew his creation. And now, do not draw near to me for a few days, nor seek me till I come to you. And it came to pass, when I had spoken to them all these words, that I, Baruch, went my way. And when the people saw me setting out, they lifted up their voice and lamented and said, to where are you departing from us, Baruch? And are you forsaking us as a father who hath forsaken his orphan children, and departs from them? Are these commands which your companion Jeremiah the prophet commanded you and said unto you, look to this people till I go and make ready the rest of the brethren in Babylon, against whom has gone forth the sentence that they should be led into captivity? And now, if you also forsake us, it were good for us all to die before you, and then that you should withdraw from us. And Baruch answered and said unto the people, far be it from me to forsake you or to withdraw from you, but I will only go unto the Holy of Holies to inquire of the Mighty One concerning you and concerning Zion. If in some respect I shall receive more illumination, and after these things I will return to you. And I, Baruch, went to the holy place and sat down upon the ruins and wept and said, oh, that my eyes were springs, and my eyelids a fount of tears. For how shall I lament for Zion, and how shall I mourn for Jerusalem? Because in that place where I am now prostrate, of old the high priest offered holy sacrifices, and placed thereon the incense of fragrant odors. But now our glorying has been made into dust, and the desire of our soul into sand. And when I had said these things, I fell asleep there, and I saw a vision in the night, and lo, a forest of trees planted on the plain, and lofty and rugged rocky mountains surrounded it. And that forest occupied much space, and lo, over against it arose a vine, and from under it there went forth a fountain peacefully. Now that fountain came to the forest, and was stirred into great waves, and those waves submerged that forest, and suddenly they rooted out the greater part of that forest, and overthrew all the mountains which were round about it, and the height of the forest began to be made low, and the top of the mountains was made low, and that fountain prevailed greatly. and that so that it left nothing of the great forest save one cedar only. Also, when it had cast it down and had destroyed and rooted out the greater part of the forest so that nothing was left, nor could its place be recognized, then that vine began to come with a fountain in peace and great tranquility. And it came to a place which is not far from that cedar, and they brought the cedar which had been cast down to it. And I beheld, and lo, that vine opened his mouth and spoke and said to that cedar, Art you not that cedar which was left of the forest of wickedness, and by whose means wickedness persisted, and was wrought all those years, and goodness never, and you kept conquering that which was not yours, and to that which was your you did never show compassion, and you did keep extending your power over those who were far from you, and those who drew near to you. You did hold fast in the toils of your wickedness, and you did uplift thyself always as one that could not be rooted out. But now your time has sped, and your hour has come. Do you also therefore depart, O cedar, after the forest, which departed before you, and become dust with it, and let your ashes be mingled together. Now recline in anguish, and rest in torment till your last time come, in which you will come again, and be tormented still more. And after these things I saw that cedar burning, and the vine growing itself, and all around it, the plain full of unfading flowers, and I indeed awoke and arose. It's the interpretation of the vision. Verse 38. And I prayed and said, O Lord, my Lord, you do always enlighten those who are led by understanding. Your law is life, and your wisdom is right guidance. Make known to me, therefore, the interpretation of this vision, for you know that my soul have always walked in your law. And from my earliest days I departed not from your wisdom. And he answered to me and said, Baruch, this is the interpretation of the vision which you have seen. As you have seen the great forest which lofty and rugged mountains surround it. This is the word. Behold, the days come, and this kingdom will be destroyed, which once destroyed Zion, and it will be subjected to that which comes after it. Moreover, that also again after a time will be destroyed, and another, a third will arise, and that also will have dominion for its time, and will be destroyed. And after these things a fourth kingdom will arise, whose power will be harsh and evil, far beyond those which were before it. And it will rule many times as the forest on the plain, and it will hold fast for times, and will exalt itself more than the cedars of Lebanon. And by it the truth will be hidden, and all those who are polluted with iniquity will flee to it, as evil beasts flee and creep into the forest. And it will come to pass, when the time of its consummation, that it shall fall, has approached, then the principate of my Messiah will be revealed. Principate. Let's wordsmith it, y'all. Principate. The rule of the early Roman emperors, during which some features of republican government were retained. All right, so during the time of Yahushua, right? And it will come to pass, verse 7, when the time of its consummation, that it shall fall, has approached, then the principate of my Messiah will be revealed, which is like the fountain and the vine. And when it is revealed, it will root out the multitude of his hosts. And as touching that which you have seen, the lofty cedar which was left of that forest, and the fact that the vine spoke those words with it, which you did hear, This is the word. The last leader of that time will be left alive when the multitude of his hosts will be put to the sword, and he will be bound, and they will take him up to Mount Zion, and my Messiah will convict him of all his impieties, and will gather and set before him all the works of his hosts. And afterwards he will put him to death, and protect the rest of my people, which shall be found in the place which I have chosen. And his principate will stand forever, until the world of corruption is at an end, and until the times aforesaid are fulfilled. This is your vision, and this is its interpretation. Let me read that again, y'all. I want to be sure we get it. The last cedar of that time will be left alive, when the multitude of his hosts will be put to the sword, and he will be bound, and they will take him up to Mount Zion, and my Messiah will convict him of all his impieties, and will gather and set before him all the works of his hosts. And afterwards he will put him to death, and protect the rest of my people, which shall be found in the place which I have chosen. And his principate will stand forever, until the world of corruption is at an end, and until the times aforesaid are fulfilled. This is your vision, and this is its interpretation. I'm going to be honest, y'all, I'm going to have to read that a few times over myself. Most High hasn't revealed to me who that principate is. He said their principate. Now, that could either be Pontius Pilate. Trying to think. When I get the answer, I'll get back with you. Verse 41. And I answered and said, for whom and for how many shall these things be? Or who will be worthy to live at that time? For I will speak before you everything that I think, and I'll ask of you regarding those things which I meditate. For lo, I see many of your people who have withdrawn from your covenant, and cast from them the yoke of your law. But others again I have seen who have forsaken their vanity, and fled for refuge beneath your wings. What therefore will be of them, will be to them, or how will the last time receive them? Or perhaps the time of these will assuredly be weighed, and as the beam inclines will they be judged accordingly. And he answered to me, these things also will I show unto you. As for what you did say, to whom will these things be, and how many will they be? To those who have believed there shall be the good which was spoken of aforetime, and to those who despise there shall be the contrary of those things. And as for what you did say regarding those who have drawn near, and those who have withdrawn, this in the word, as for those who were before subject, and afterwards withdrew and mingled themselves with the seed of mingled peoples, the time of these was the former, and was counted as something exalted. And as for those who before knew not, but afterwards knew life, and mingled only with the seed of the people which have separated itself, the time of these is the latter, and is accounted as something exalted. Man, did y'all hear that? Let me read that again. Verse 4. I'll start at verse 3. And as for what you did say regarding those who have drawn near, and those who have withdrawn, this in the word, as for those who were before subject, and afterwards withdrew and mingled themselves with the seed of mingled peoples, the time of these was the former. So everybody that started out, all right, with Yahushua, with repentance and all that, everybody that started out but then started mingling with men, those are the ones that are going to fall off, all right? He said, those are the former. and was accounted as something exalted. So they had people that looked exalted, but they weren't exalted in their hearts, and eventually they fell off. That's what it's saying. And as for those who before knew not, but afterwards knew life, and mingled only with the seed of the people which had separated itself, the time of these is the latter. That's why you are here. You started out as a non-believer. You started out as somebody that was, doing what and what. But then in the latter part of your life, you linked on to the Messiah. You believed in him, and you died in that. And those that started out but fell off died in their sin. All right? This is why you got these dummies on here. They died in their sin. This is why the Most High treat them the way he do, and they look so dumb to us, because that's what they are. And as for those who before knew not, but afterwards knew life, and mingled only with the seed of the people which has separated itself, the time of these is the latter, and is accounted as something exalted. So those that didn't look like much, in the end, now they're exalted. We're exalted. Okay? We're exalted, but they look at us as if we're not. And time shall succeed to time, and reason to and season to season, and one shall receive from another, and then with a view to the consummation shall everything be compared according to the measure of the times and the hours of the season. For corruption shall take those that belong to it. Woo! You hear that? Corruption shall take those that belong to it. And life, those that belong to it. And the dust shall be called, and there shall be said to it, give back that which is not yours, and raise up all that you have kept until this time. So, this is why these niggas get kicked out of here. All right? Corruption takes those that belong to it. See, corruption is their daddy. That's why they can't help themselves. They come in here, and then they fuck up. And corruption grabs them and says, give me that. He not yours. He ain't supposed to be there. He's supposed to be with me. Right, DG? Huh? Corruption takes those that belong to it. That's some deep shit right there. Yes, that fucked me all the way up. Put my damn glasses back on. He says, give back that which is not yours, and raise up all that you have kept until this time. That's why y'all left. All you faithful. All right? Baruch told of his death and bidden to give his last commands to the people. 43:1. But do thou, Baruch, direct your heart to that which has been said to you, and understand those things which have been shown to you, for there are many eternal consolations for you. For you shall depart from this place, and you shall pass from the regions which are now seen by you, and you shall forget whatever is corruptible, and shall not again recall those things which happen among mortals. Go therefore and command your people, and come to this place, and afterwards fast 7 days, and then I will come to you and speak with you. All right? So, I'm going to chop it off right there. So, this is why things are the way they are, man. The Most High knoweth those that are his. All right? All these clowns on here scoffing, laughing, making their stupid ass comments, they belong to corruption. All right? They belong to corruption. And there's nothing that could be done about it. We got a couple of heathens on here that are not even in the body. They're not even Israel or Judah. They heathens, man. Full-fledged heathens. I mean, this is the consummation of times, man. It's the consummation. And things are coming to an end. All right? They're coming to an end. Have y'all seen what they've been doing, man? These ICE agents are no joke. All right. They've been going to schools, churches, car washes. They snatching these motherfuckers out of everywhere you could think. All right. Restaurants. I mean, this place is becoming a ghost town overnight. Overnight. You know. And I got a couple of nuggets for you. I was asked this question a while back. Because you know we got Northern Kingdom in here, right? And I was asked, will they be under Yahushua or will they be under me? And the other question was, will they have to wait to be turned up or will they be turned up with Judah? Well, let me show y'all something. This for my priests in here. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 9. Let me show y'all something. Look at verse 3. Ezekiel 9 and 3. And the glory of the power of Israel was gone up from the cherub whereupon he was to the threshold of the house, and he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side, and said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right? So, the man with the writer's inkhorn is a scribe. All right? He is that. So, if he's up there with the man with the destroying weapons in his hand, he got to be turned up. He have to. So, guess what, priest? There's your confirmation that, yes, in case you was wondering. I know it's confusing. Are we under Yahushua or are we here? Are the kings going to get turned up and we don't? No. That's not decent and in order. See? Y'all are here and yes, you will be turned up. Y'all are that small faction. So all praises for that. All right? All praises. It was another one I wanted to give y'all. Okay. I got it. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 30. I'll drop it down to let's go to verse 7. The meat is in verse 7. It says, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I should start at verse 4. Jeremiah 30 and 4. And these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. Notice he put Israel first. For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So, he's saying Israel and Judah, right? So he said Israel is Jacob. But it says he, Judah, shall be saved out of it. Right? What's happening now? Do you see Judites banging on the Northern Kingdom right now? Do you see Judites banging on the so-called Latinos and Native Americans and Mexicans? You see that? We at that time. So, their faces are turning pale. They never thought this white man would do what he doing to them. But he is, because that's what he does. He stabs you in the back, all right? And that's what happened to him. So now they scrambling for their lives. They running for their lives, all right? So what does that mean? If that trouble has started, then we have to be saved out of it. I told y'all our redemption draweth nigh. I ain't gonna keep dropping these hot biscuits on your head. Not gonna do it. All right? We getting out of here, y'all. I'm telling you. Stay the course. Do not crumble. All right? Well, that's all I got for you on this video. It's already at 30 minutes. You know, all praises to the Father of lights for all these nuggets and gems that he gives us. All praises. Peace and blessings to you, Yahweh Shai, the beloved Son of the kingdom. None of this is possible without you. All right? You set the foundation. All praises to you for that. The water for eternity. Peace and power to the throne of King David. And peace and blessing to you out there, Royal House family. All right? Look. We finna get out of here, man. I'm telling y'all. Just hold on. All right? Well, I will see y'all on the next go-round. You know there's more to come. This your King and Shepherd KD. And I'll see y'all on the next turnaround. KD out. Shalom.